Hello and welcome to the 32nd installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, along with our co-host, Jordan.
How you guys doing?
Jordan, I made a realization. I forgot to get headphones to monitor the audio. So continue with the intro while I get headphones.
Yeah, can you grab mine right there and just yeet them at my head at full velocity? So, as you can see, we're always very well prepared. We never make any sort of mistakes. And, should you like the stupid shit that goes on this podcast, you can find us on numerous platforms. That's a fairly recent thing we've worked on. You can find us on Pocket Cast, Breaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and we even have our very own RSS feed you can import into your favorite podcasting app if we're not already there. You can also contact us, synapsemisfire at pm.me. Send us comments, questions, concerns, death threats, preferably death threats. We've gotten a few already. We appreciate them. Mostly sex threats, which is weird. And also, most recently, Synapse Misfire on Instagram. DM us there. Send us your nudes. Yeah, that's right. Plug that in, baby.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah.
Perfect, bro. We came so prepared today, Chris.
Man, I am losing it, Jordan.
As am I.
Did you say... I thought I heard you say we never make mistakes.
Yeah.
I would never make mistakes.
Yeah.
I would never make the mistake... make a mistake that caused a 5-minute light bulb swap to take over an hour.
No. That doesn't sound like anything we would do
Never.
Here on the show, either of us.
I would never do that.
No.
So...
But we did do that.
We just did some IRL content, which we've been working on for the last 4 fucking hours.
And it's still shit.
And, so, if you didn't notice, last Friday, which was yesterday for us, an IRL video did not go up, because the one we made I don't think was salvageable. We don't think was a good video.
Yeah, it was the long-awaited setup.
What the fuck?
What the hell was that?
My dad just moved and went, woo!
Reminds me of high school. It was the long-awaited official setup video, and beyond the first 2.5 minutes, it was just...
There was some funny stuff in that video, actually, from us trying to figure out the electrical in my dad's workshop. It's all just kind of hacked together. Stuff is wired to outlets and stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird. But that was the only entertaining part I could pull out of what we had.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of it would have been a time lapse and then the end of the video.
Yeah. Perhaps it's best just to upload it on Instagram or something.
I don't know. I'll figure out what I can do with it, but I don't think I can do anything with it.
Yeah.
The new one, the one we just did, I'm thinking of cutting it into a saga.
It's going to be chapters,
and
yeah.
make it really dramatic. Because we had a lot of ups and downs in that one.
A lot of ups and downs.
We did spark plugs and headlights, and it took us 4 hours.
You don't have to tell them that. It's embarrassing.
It's a bit embarrassing, I'll be honest.
And I'll also be honest, a lot of it wasn't user error. It wasn't us making mistakes, except for the headlights.
Well, the headlight thing took just as long as the spark plugs. We were done with the spark plugs at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it is now, for those watching, 5:20.
And we had to spend the other 2 hours fucking around with headlights. I won't talk about it too much, but...
But you'll see it on the video. I also, what was funnest part of that was when I was under your truck looking for something, and I just banged my head on your frame, and then banged the back of my head off the cement immediately after.
Nice.
That was nice. There was some blood in the video. That was also nice.
Yeah, Jordan just spontaneously started bleeding. It was weird.
Yeah, very weird. I don't know where the blood went, by the way. It's just gone. Just not on my hands. I guess maybe the hand sanitizer took it off.
Maybe.
But now we're here. Doing a podcast.
So if you ever wonder why our podcasts lately have been so low energy, that's why.
It's because we're already ready to retire.
It's because we do because of the amount of time we have, we do an IRL video, and then we do podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it would make sense to do it the other way around. I don't know.
Perhaps, because you're kind of, with the IRL video, you're kind of forced to be
Well,
not necessarily high energy, but engaged. Because
well, the only
physically have to
thing
do something.
now, right, is that I'm worried about why we couldn't be able to do that is that let's see, what's today? The time changes tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Does it go back or forward?
Spring forward.
Huh.
So, the thing I would have been worried about over like the
darkness.
winter was we run out of daylight.
Yeah.
So
That's why we did it this way originally. Was daylight.
so we don't run out of daylight. Yes.
But going forward, for at least the time being, maybe we can do it that way. Anyway, look out for that video. It should be, in theory, a lot more entertaining. There is some really, really good moments in there. It's just gonna have to be edited through. And if everything went according to plan, we have our new audio solution, which still isn't ideal, but
It works or it doesn't.
it works or it doesn't. So we'll see. But Chris, aside from all this hellish work we've done on that truck,
Yeah.
even though I've been this was my first week at work on site since training, and I use training in quotations because I'm still learning a lot. But this is the first full week I worked on site. So I was kind of there. I was involved. I saw you each day you were there. But how has it been? How have you been doing?
How have I been doing?
Aside from this whole truck saga, set that aside. How's the week been? How you been doing?
More or less okay.
More or less okay.
Busy. I was busy this week. Thursday specifically was very busy for me.
Really?
I woke up. I went to work. Right? I went to work after I woke up.
Not before?
Not before I woke up.
That would have been weird.
I went to work. And then I was at work. And then I came home. And I had to worry about Chunk because he's having some medical issues right at the moment.
Don't worry. Nothing fatal.
He's not like gonna die or anything. It's just he's sick. So we have to like
He's caught the Rona.
we just feline coronavirus is a real thing.
Yeah.
We just have to keep an eye on him. Make sure he's eating, make sure he's drinking, because he was sick.
Yeah.
He still is, but he's a lot better today than he was Thursday. So I had to worry about that. And then I had to go to class.
That's always fun.
And then, right, I had to do my midterm after I had physics, and then I had to do my midterm for math. And statistics, I have statistics. Statistics ain't shit.
Easy?
It's so easy. The only, the things with math I understand are physics, god damn it. The things with math I understand are statistics and geometry and trig.
Yeah, I was gonna say trig. We were in trig together senior year, and we were really good at that class.
Trig, geometry, and statistics I'm super good at. Algebra, bad. I'm bad at algebra. Right?
Yeah, I'm pretty whack.
I can rearrange things, I guess, but when you get into more advanced algebra stuff, I'm
Yeah. We were talking after we did the truck stuff. We went on a nice joyous ride. And,
we did. Yeah.
And I brought up the whole meme of old people who were like, back in my day, I wish I could go back in time. Oh, in my 20s, now I'm 30, et cetera, et cetera. And I was just thinking, when I said to you, I don't have a time period I want to go back to. If there's one that I had to, senior year. That was some fun shit.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Senior year, we did some fun shit. Just I don't know, just dumb shit. It was just, we had some awesome teachers and did some dumb shit.
Senior year was a good one. I liked that one.
Yeah, I liked that one as well. But what are you gonna do? Now we have the podcast, so.
What are you gonna do?
But aside from Chunk's illness and then statistics, that cakewalk of a piece of shit.
Oh, I didn't finish what I was doing. I didn't finish what I was saying. So I did my midterm for statistics. Then I had to finish my lab assignment.
For physics?
For physics lab. Then I had to do my pre-lab for this physics lab. And then I had to drive to my lab. Do my lab. Come back. Eat. Do another midterm.
Holy shit.
And then go to bed.
God damn, dude. That's nuts.
Yeah,
But you did it, right?
I did. I have 2 other things I have to do. I thought I had a lot more work than I did because I was looking at the wrong sections in my in my
Syllabus? Or?
in my student portal thing.
Oh.
I was looking at the wrong sections. I was looking a week ahead. So I have 2 other things I have to do that will take me probably 10 minutes.
Yeah.
For both of them. So.
Nice. Well, that's not too bad, I guess. But yeah, sounds like Thursday was just overall shitty.
It's pretty busy. I was busy. So other than that, pretty good.
Yeah. I've been hanging in there. Without going into detail, I bought a new chair. And the reason that you'll understand in a minute why I say without going into detail, bought a new chair. I bought a new ergonomic mouse for work after the other one shit the bed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a day after I bought it. And the reason
Has this one worked more than a day?
Yeah, it's Anchor. It's a good one. Yeah, Anchor makes some nice things for cheap. Because we got like a.
What was the other one? Was it On?
It was the Walmart brand.
On.
It was a nice mouse. It just immediately shit the bed, which sucked. But yeah, we got like a work from home. What's the word? I don't want to say check, but a work from home.
Like a stipend.
Stipend. That's the word I used. Yeah, stipend. To buy things that would make life at home easier. So I have a backpack coming in tomorrow because the backpack I have now is tiny and I have to stuff shit in there.
So you got a big backpack.
Yeah, I got a travel bag. So
epic.
I got that. I got a chair.
Dude, backpacks are no joke, man. Backpacks are expensive.
I got this one for only $40.
Oh.
But it's
like $40 is brand. Like a cheap backpack.
Yeah. But backpacks get pricey.
But yeah, like a regular backpack, like from say like a Swiss Army,
Tech or whatever.
Swiss Army backpack.
Yeah.
Those are like a cheap one is like $90.
Yeah.
And they're small.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get like a bigger one that you can actually put stuff in. That's like $150 bag.
Yeah.
Backpacks are expensive, man. Backpacks and luggage.
Yeah, luggage is nuts. Sometimes.
That's why, because we don't travel a lot, so that's why we've had the same luggage ever since I could remember.
Mm-hmm.
So that luggage is like at least 20 years old.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, it is expensive. But I bought that. Like I said, first full week I think since I like exited training on site, which was cool. I like being on site so much more than working from home. Working from home has its pros.
Well, you get to hang out with Oscar.
I wouldn't call that a pro.
Does he yell at people you talk to on the phone?
He yells sometimes. Then he sleeps.
Does he mostly sleeps. What you can do actually, you can say, Oscar, listen, it's time you earn your keep around here, and just have him type up emails for you.
True, I could have him do that. But the week is just flying by.
It was a quick week, actually.
Yeah.
This one was quick. I was like, I blinked, and then it was Thursday.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. So, yeah. It just zoomed by. I don't know what happened, dude. I like you said, I went into work each day, went home, did some stuff, and then it was just like, oh, it's Friday. And now I'm like, oh, it's 5:00 on a Saturday. And damn, okay.
Damn, that shit's crazy.
But, what I've been doing, as you know, I was playing Red Dead 2. I kind of shifted away from that for now. I'm letting it stagnate. I got to the Saint Denis. That chapter.
I've been, I'll talk about this later, but I've been playing Red Dead 1. Ooh. Which I haven't played in the last few days because I've been so busy.
I was playing Red Dead 2 hard, and then I got to Saint Denis, and I was just like, okay. So then I let it sit for a little bit, and now what I'm doing as well, between the two, mostly, is replaying the Metro series. I played through Metro 2033 in about 3 days, I want to say. Took me about 8 hours.
A playthrough of the Metro series, because I have both. I have 2033 and I have Last Light Remastered, and I have the originals too. That has been on my list since like 2014.
Really? I played through 2033. I'm like maybe a quarter of the way through Last Light, and then I'm gonna move on to Exodus, which I only beat about 2 years ago.
Well, that's like
so it'll be cool.
Wolfenstein has been on my list for a long time, and I finally did the first one. I forget what it was called.
New Order. That's a good one.
I played the first one, and I meant to play it again because you know how there's 2 different paths you can go.
Mm-hmm.
I meant to play it again, and I was just like, nah, and I just didn't.
You know, I'll talk about it later. I was gonna say the Wolfenstein games, 2 of them I think, or maybe we just one. Old Blood is on Game Pass now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Old Blood is the prequel to New Order.
Ah.
Arguably the not as good one, but whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's still good though. I mean, it's Wolfenstein. If you like it for the combat, you like it for the combat. You know.
Yeah.
But I was playing through Metro, and then I started Lust from Beyond, which is a game we had talked about.
Is it like do you like fuck a ghost?
You fuck a lot of stuff.
Ooh.
You also get fucked
By a ghost?
by a guy
Oh.
in the ass. Okay,
What
so
happens?
so this game is a horror game all about
All about
you being a seeing one who is someone who is spiritually connected to Luska, which is the land of ecstasy.
Oh.
And there's tons of sexual stuff in the game. Primarily, you get captured by some dude who's part of what's known as the Starlit House, I believe. And their goal is to destroy Luska, so they have to use you as like a gateway. And the way he does it is he ties you to a cross and sucks your tank. And yeah, no, it's a great game, fantastic. I don't know what it is, man. It's not very scary. A couple moments that are scary. It's kind of creepy, a little bit. Got some really overly sexual stuff. The story's all right. I got it for $10 after I used my Steam wallet balance. And I don't know what it is with horror games and having ridiculously photorealistic graphics, but the shittiest animations and voice acting.
Why do you say that?
The voice acting is it has its moments. There's times where I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good, and then there's other times where I'm like, bro, this person's reading a sheet of paper. And then the animations are just
I had
just
that
whack.
a lot with Cyberpunk, where I thought V's voice acting was like really
Subpar.
strange sometimes.
Yeah.
So
And Johnny Silverhands. He was the
Yeah.
other one that I thought was a little strange, too.
That was also strange.
Yeah.
Like they didn't interact like people a lot of times.
It was very sentence-oriented.
Yeah, it was weird.
But that's kind of how this game is sometimes, where, like, it's just weird. I think a lot of it just has to do, it's an indie game. So it just comes down to that, you know?
I guess, yeah.
It's still a good game. Again, it's, like, photorealistic, the game, but the animations are a little wonky, which is kind of like how Metro is. Metro has some pretty wonky animations, some mediocre voice acting, but, you know, you like it for the gameplay and the story, and that's kind of how I am with this game. If you do play it, because I do know you said you were interested when I described it a few weeks ago, you might want to turn your monitor away from your door in case your dad sneaks up this time.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's basically like playing a porn simulator at times.
Damn.
So, but it's cool though. It's weird. What it makes me think in a lot of ways is I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, this is fucked up. And then I sit there and I'm like, wait, who the fuck thought of this? Like, whose head conceived
Someone
this?
sat down and was like, yo, you know, it'd be fucking crazy, right? First, there's an enemy guy, and then he drags you away, and then he sucks your cock, and that's it. That's the game.
Yeah. But it's like, there's just some moments in the game, like after the whole, I won't even get into it too much, but there's just some pretty like sexual moments where I'm just like you remember Hot Coffee?
Yes.
There's an entire scene where you you control it. For those who don't know, look up GTA San Andreas Hot Coffee.
It's the reason why that game was rated AO.
Yeah. And this game surprisingly isn't. So.
Well, yeah, things have changed a lot since 2004.
That's the thing, yeah. But I still think personally, if there's any game that should be rated A, it's this one.
Yeah, okay.
Of all the games to rate, I like you said, a lot's different now, but like, there's a difference between seeing people get dismembered and then like literal like rape. Because that's a part of this game as well. So, it's just odd. It's a good game though, don't get me wrong. It's fun, a little awkward to play. Luckily, you know, for me, I live with my girlfriend, so I warn her. I just go, you're going to see some weird things, and then I just play the game. For you, it'd be pretty awkward if your dad walked in at the wrong time.
No, we'll play it together. He'll watch me.
I'll sit on your lap. Oh, and the best part is, right, so when you first open the game, it shows two options, uncensored or censored, right? And underneath censored, it's like, all nudity is censored, blah, 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 blah. And under uncensored, it says all nudity is visible. This is the main goal of the nudity is to evoke fear and pleasure. Is what it says.
The two are very closely related.
And I clicked on it and then hit continue, and I just turned to my girlfriend and I'm like, don't be surprised if my desk starts just lifting slowly.
Don't be surprised if I am simultaneously very scared and horny at the same time.
I'm just simultaneously, I'm like, I scream and then you just hear,
Ah!
I scream and run out of the room with the big... Stop.
What are you doing?
I'm hitting the charger and it's flipping the phone. But anyway, it's a pretty good game. Again, it's just weird to play, but it makes me want another AAA horror game, and I use AAA loosely. I think of like Outlast as AAA because it's very well paced, very well developed. Animations are pretty good. Something like Layers of Fear, I'd say, is right on the verge of AAA. And then this game is very clearly AA. So I really hope we get another good AAA game, which could be Resident Evil Village. So
Layers of Fear 2 was like, it was pretty polished.
Yeah.
The second one was very polished.
Yeah. I got Layers of Fear on the Quest, so I'm going to try to play it, but I just haven't yet.
I am excited for the Resident Evil as well.
Yeah. I'm pretty hyped. And I cannot stop thinking about Days Gone on PC. I just can't. I'm like, I want to replay the game so bad now because it's such a good game. Like, Days Gone is like, I don't want to openly like say like definitively it's Red Dead level of like I remember it, because it doesn't have the polish that like Rockstar puts in their worlds, but it's very close. Like, I would say if you rated like open world games on a scale of Red Dead 2 at the top, Cyberpunk like right around that same lively world, Days Gone is like just below. Like, it's so good, that game. The map is huge. There's shit to do. The weapons, the gunplay, the motorcycle is like the coolest part. And then the story, forget it. The story is fucking incredible. And the game, I will say, does drag out, which is something Red Dead 2 suffers from as well.
Yeah.
It has moments that drag out. So like the game is like 60 hours, just for the main shit. Again, you can bum rush it, but it's hard to do. But overall, man, I just can't fucking wait to replay that game.
I will make it the 60 hours into 60 minutes. I will play it in 1 hour.
But that's all I've been doing, man. I've been just trying to replay some stuff because there's just nothing coming out besides Lust
Well,
from
it's
Beyond.
like, it probably has one of those weird, some games have like weird endings that take like 10 minutes. Like,
like Far Cry 4?
Far Cry 4 had that.
Yeah.
Where if you just wait,
Yeah.
the game just ends.
What is the other game that had that? I just saw it. I can't remember what game it was. You could basically kill the bad guy in a prologue mission, and then it just defeats the purpose of the whole game, and then it ends. So, it's funny when they do that kind of stuff. But I really just want a new Metro game too. Metro is like literally one of my favorite gaming series, and I plan on doing an audiobook of the books 2033, 2034, 2035, and I think 2036. I love Metro so much, dude. I fucking love it. So
I don't know, man. I never really played it a ton. It's been on my list for like actual years.
Yeah.
So
I love it. And
doesn't mean I'm any closer to playing it. It just means
it's just been there.
It's been there.
But what else you got, Chris? You have a topic you want to talk about, or are we just gonna go?
I can talk about Red Dead 1.
Yeah, if you want. So, I was replaying Red Dead 2. I'm looking into replaying Red Dead 1 as well. I have a 360. I just need to find some power cables.
Yeah, so I was looking into. I was gonna play Red Dead 1. I was gonna attempt to play it on PS Now.
Can't imagine that went well.
I assumed, right? This is where I'm a fool. I assumed that in 2021 streaming a PlayStation 3 game would not be that difficult.
Mm-hmm.
The game looks like shit, runs like shit.
On PS Now?
On PS Now. It somehow looks worse than it did on the console originally. And runs at like 12 frames per second. And when you, like, if you go to move the camera, there's like a second of input lag. Like, I don't notice input lag very often.
Same, yep.
But that was like egregious. Mm. There was like probably half a second or a second of input lag. And I don't have a shit connection either.
Mm-hmm.
I have like
Ethernet?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I have like a 300 meg connection.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I have a shitty connection. So what gives?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So what was the alternative you had?
So what I ended up doing is I looked on eBay. I was like, I just kind of want like an Xbox 360, just like temporarily, and then I'll just get rid of it when I'm done. So I was able to get an Xbox 360 and a copy of the game for like $90. And then I'm just going to sell it on when I'm done. Because
how much are you selling it for?
I can sell it for what I paid for it, really.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to play Red Dead 2 or Red Dead 1, and I'm going to play Undead Nightmare.
Undead Nightmare's so good.
Because I got the whole package.
That's pretty sweet, yeah. I almost wish I could get like a Series X just for the hell of it, because you can play Red Dead 1 on there at 60.
Well, I was tempted to get an
cool.
Xbox One because there wouldn't be as many like stutters. Because that game, if it was a game that was released today that ran the way that did, people would be furious.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many like frame dips in certain effects that you look at.
Did you get to like Molotovs yet? Because I remember that was a big one. Yeah. Molotovs were bad.
Well, I didn't have them. Someone else had them in one of the missions I did. Someone else had them, and then it was the one where you have to go to the canyon and kill like all the cattle rustlers and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm still fairly early in the game. So you're with the marshal and you have to kill cattle rustlers, but one of the guys has Molotovs, and there was an area in the center where you do most of the fighting that was just completely on fire. And I would turn my camera. If I turned my camera over so that was in view, the game would drop to like 5 FPS. Like it runs bad.
But what's funny is I don't even remember it running bad. That's what's crazy.
I know. So like I played it and I'm like, I swear this didn't run as bad.
But it did. That's the crazy thing.
I swear this didn't run as bad. I'm almost tempted to figure out, because I'm thinking, right, an Xbox 360 is based on PowerPC architecture. They don't make PowerPC anymore. It's an IBM chip. I think they stopped making it like 2006, 2007, something like that. So I almost want to see if I can build like a halfway decent PC with PowerPC that's based on PowerPC, and see if I can run an emulator on it and see if it runs any better. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe that was the problem you were having when you tried to emulate it before.
Yeah.
You think if you did like a PowerPC emulator, or like emulated using PowerPC, you'd be able to.
But then again, I don't know. I would have to boot it and then boot it with Linux and then find an emulator that would work.
Yeah.
Because you don't get Windows for PowerPC anymore. At least not Windows that will be secure.
Yeah.
Linux, you can get like Ubuntu. I think you can still get like Ubuntu and Debian for PowerPC.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
But I think it's all 32-bit, so the most you're going to get is like 3 gigs of RAM. Mm-hmm. And then...
What did the Xbox 360 have, though?
It has like 512.
512? Yeah.
Like half a gig.
Yeah, so that would be, if you have 3 gigs... I think you could probably... I mean, it just depends. Emulation's tough in general, but in theory...
That's the thing,
You'd have a pretty good performance overhead compared to the 360.
Xbox 360
even at 32.
specs. I'm going to look at this right now.
Oh boy. I heard that the game runs best on 360 compared to PS3.
Well, that's why I went for a 360.
Yeah. I can't imagine how it is on PS3. I used to play it on PS3, and again, I don't remember it being that bad, but It's just crazy how times change.
The Xbox 360 took a different approach to hardware when compared to its predecessor. The X CPU, named Xenon at Microsoft and Water Noose at IBM, is a triple-core, 64-bit PowerPC based design by IBM. This led to an approximate 50% savings in required bandwidth and memory, blah blah blah, having a theoretical performance of 115.2 gigaflops.
Not even a teraflop.
My GPU, granted I have a 2080, makes like 12 teraflops.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Being capable of 9.6 billion dot products per second, whatever that means. Each core was capable of simultaneous multi-threading and was clocked at 3.2 gigahertz.
That's actually not bad. 3.2 for something back then? God damn. We were zooming.
Let's see. Oh, GPU. Here we go. The GPU package was produced by... It's so old that it was before AMD was AMD. It listed as an ATI chip.
Oh, wow.
Called Xenos. The chip was developed under the name C1 and R500. The GPU package contained two separate silicon dies, each built on a 90mm process with a clock speed of 500 megahertz.
Oh my god.
A theoretical peak of 240 gigaflops.
Wow.
Manufactured by TSMC, blah, blah, blah. 10 megabytes EDRAM, daughter, that's just technical jargon. 512 megabytes of GDDR3 RAM, clocked at 700 megahertz.
GDDR3? So it's VRAM.
So, yeah, it's split between the CPU and GPU.
Yeah.
With an effective transmission rate of 1.4 gigahertz, so 1333, basically.
Wow.
The original, according to Mark Rain of Epic Games, Microsoft had originally planned on only using 256 megabytes of RAM, but the decision to increase it was based on Epic's upcoming Gears of War title. Epic had been arguing for Microsoft to increase the memory for some time, and Tim Sweeney had sent Microsoft screenshots of what Gears would look like at 256 megabytes, and then at their proposed 512 megabytes. Shortly thereafter, Epic was the first studio to be told about the new 512 megabyte size specification, and claimed it cost them $1 billion
to change. Wow.
Then this is just hard
How
drives.
did we go from Y2K to the 360, and nowadays we got a fucking 3080, man?
3080.
Like,
We're gonna get I'm just gonna get, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my 360, I'm gonna open it up, and I'm gonna solder a 3080 to it.
shouldn't be a problem.
Just figure it out. Just change the pin out, run it to where it needs to go.
Yeah. I just can't believe, like, Y2K was the thing, and then just nowadays, man. We are spoiled bitches in this world.
Yeah, man. And, I'm just saying, Rockstar just release a remaster of Red Dead 1 on PC. You could charge me double for it, and I would still buy it.
I looked into, like,
You
emulating it
could
and
charge
trying to
me
do it.
$150 for that game, and I would buy it.
I heard the reason it was never ported to PC was that they could not get it to run, regardless of the hardware. So if they would remaster it from the ground up in, like, the Red Dead 2, level, I would pay. I would pay big bucks for that, dude.
If I had the money, right? If I was like Jeff Bezos.
That's one thing I would do, yeah.
If I was worth like $150 billion, I would throw like $500 million at Rockstar and be like, look.
All you gotta do is remaster it.
I will fund this. You need to build Red Dead 1 from the ground up, make it like Red Dead 2, and I will fund this for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care if you release it. If you
want
just give me a copy, I don't care. If I had that sort of money, that's what I would throw. I would waste $500 million on that.
Yeah. That is crazy that you could, in theory, do that. Like if you had that money, you could totally do something like that.
Well, think about it this way. GTA 5, one of the most expensive games ever developed, cost like $260 million to develop. Right? If I had the money and I could throw like $500 million at something, just to own a company and have them do my bidding for
something,
a year or two, so they can rebuild it. Because it's not like they have to write the game. It's not like they have to write the story. They wouldn't even really have to do
the dialogue. I mean, they usually mocap the entire dialogue nowadays. They didn't for Red Dead 1, I don't think. I think L.A. Noire was the first one they mocapped dialogue, but
they mocapped dialogue and faces, and it looked like shit. Yeah.
It looked a little. It was Uncanny Valley.
Yeah,
that's what I would say. It wasn't shit. It was just Uncanny Valley. I need L.A. Noire too. L.A. Noire is one of my favorite fucking games of all time.
Never touched it.
You should. It's so.
I have a copy of it.
For what?
For PC.
PC, nice. You should, dude.
I got it with my pre-order of Red Dead 2. When I pre-ordered Red Dead 2, you could get San Andreas or you can get L.A. Noire, and I was like, I'm not gonna go back and play San Andreas to tell you the truth, but L.A. Noire.
I tried to play San Andreas.
I might play that,
and I don't have that level of nostalgia for it.
I don't either.
And I think it's shit. If I'm being truthfully honest with you. It's pretty ass.
Well, and I mean, that's the only reason I'm tolerating Red Dead Redemption with the way that it's made. You have nostalgia it's because I'm like, I love Red Dead 2, and I really remember playing this, and I loved it. And I'm still having a good time with it.
No, you just see the flaws now.
It's just I see the flaws now because I've been so spoiled playing on PC for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing.
I mean... Yeah, that's just. I guess that's just how games were back then. That's just how they were.
That's the thing that I've always thought was crazy was how like you go back and play a game that you remember playing for hundreds of hours. Like when you were a kid, you could only have one game because no one was just gonna buy you another game, or and you would get a new game every 6 months or a year, if that.
Yeah, you would get one like for your birthday.
And that was something. It. And you had to make that last like for the year, dude. And you remember, like, wow, I played this game for 100+ hours. I did all this crazy shit. And then...
Oh, we left the door open.
Oh, no.
I'll close it in a minute.
And then you, what door?
On the addition on the barn. Yeah.
We tried. And then you go hard at it. You go back to play it, and you're just like...
God damn.
This is rough. That's how I feel with Skate 3. I want to go back and play Skate 3, because that was a game I probably put over 10,000 hours in through my childhood. It probably sucks nowadays.
Like, if you go back and look at the Xbox 360 version of GTA 5, I played a shitload of that on the 360.
Mm-hmm. That's probably so bad.
Look like shit.
Yeah, dude, like, that's crazy, dude. Like, I wonder what it's going to be like in 10 years if we're still playing games. If we're going to be like, man, Red Dead 2, what a weird game. There were so many flaws.
Like, yeah, we're going to go back. And we're gonna like, man, I really want to replay Red Dead 2. And go back like, man, that sucks.
Yeah, but man, the combat is the animations are Arthur's only okay. Like, I think Arthur will stay flawless though.
Well, the issues I have is with it technically, not with the story.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Time. The story is always gonna be, story's always gonna hold up.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So like Red Dead 1. The story is incredible, just like Red Dead 2. So, yeah, maybe you should go shut the barn door.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Want me to go with you for the hell of it?
So,
just so you don't have to be alone. What were we talking about? Red Dead 1. That's right. Or no, not even. Mostly, but it was also just games that we replay and they suck. Got a little bit of nippage going on here. You know what I read once?
What'd you read?
Red Dead. I don't know if it's true, but I read in an article once that the reason you yawn when someone else yawns is because yawning is a means to remove excess carbon dioxide, and when someone else yawns around you, your brain thinks, hey, maybe there's extra carbon here. Carbon dioxide, and just blows it out.
Ah. But wouldn't it be a lack of oxygen and not an excess of carbon, Jordan?
I'm about to piss myself laughing, dude. Oh my god. So, I have to tell the story with obviously redacted names. The worst part about high school. Our English teacher. And genuinely, I won't use her name or anything, or, obviously, but I am going to say exactly how I feel about her, because I really don't care. She's an absolute neo-Nazi feminist piece of trash. And she would... Do you hear the buzzing?
That's just normal. That's just how the mixer is.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard it more, but it might be the knob. She's just a human waste. She degrades students. Chris has some experience with that. She kind of, has strong political opinions, which is fine, but you're really not supposed to push that on, high schoolers.
Yeah, it's generally, like, not a good idea.
Yeah. But anyway, to Chris's point about the excess, or lack of oxygen.
But the worst thing on any kind of person is people who just can't admit they're wrong.
Yeah, thank you. I can't believe I forgot to mention that.
Just can't admit they're wrong. They always think they're right.
Yeah.
And that was the issue.
So, I like to think our audience members here are, at least competent. So let me see if this made sense to you guys, and just
like higher than room temperature IQ. Yes.
Yeah. Room temperature in Antarctica. No, it's a funny one. That was a reference to the last another episode. Anyway, this teacher, I don't remember exactly why it was brought up, but yawning was brought up, and I think she said, "I wonder why we yawn."
Well, wasn't she yawning a lot? And she was like, "I must have."
Yeah. Okay, you got it. She said, "I'm yawning a lot, and I must have a lack of oxygen." So I said, "You mean an excess of carbon?" And she said, "No, a lack of oxygen." And I said, "Then why would you be exhaling? When you exhale, it's carbon. When you inhale, it's oxygen." And she just insisted she was correct. So correct me if I'm wrong, audience, but I'm not, so that's fine. And she actually gave me shit in the middle of class about that because I was 100% correct and she was 100% wrong. And here's the difference, though. When a student would do that, when a student would make a mistake like that, it was, "No, you're wrong." But when I said that to her, I wasn't like, "Oh, you mean an excess of carbon?" I literally said, "Actually, it's an excess of carbon." And she straight up was just like, "Nah, go fuck yourself." I wasn't even rude about it.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know. I wish I was still. I wish I stayed in that class because I would do my damnedest to waste time.
Yeah.
I would do my damnedest.
After the mental anguish she put her students through, you, who were only her student for a week?
No, I was there for a couple months.
Was it a couple months?
Yeah.
They still let you drop classes by then?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, imagine telling one of your students that they're going to fail life because they dropped one class.
Because I dropped your shitty English class.
And just for note, it was an honors class. And when I got accepted in the class, I had turned it down. I took the test for honors, and then I turned it down. I was like, I don't want to go to honors. And the first day, I was like, hey, I asked specifically not to be in this class, and they put me here. And she was just like, well, then maybe you're just not mentally ready. And I was just like, okay, so then the same thing happened to my girlfriend, but different. She failed the honors test by 1 point. So she couldn't be in the class. So she told her that, the teacher, and the teacher said, well, you don't belong in this class then because clearly you're not smart enough. And from that point on, that motivated my girlfriend to stay. And then me, with my internal inferiority complex, was like, damn, now I have to stay. I can't let her take the honors class and not me. So I stayed and suffered through it.
Yeah. She also had another job at a restaurant. I wonder if she still works there, and I just want to show up there and just look at her.
We should just go there for dinner one time.
Just go there.
Just get the boys, dude.
Just go there and don't say a word to her when she even if she's like
don't even recognize her.
Even if she's just our waitress, just and she's like, can I use something to drink? Just stare at her. Don't say a word. Just look at her, unblinking.
We should go there for dinner though one time.
Yeah, we should just show up and just stare.
Yeah.
Or
I still think we should just express
alternatively,
our thoughts.
if she ends up being our waitress or whatever, I don't know what she does there, but I would be the worst customer. I don't have it in me to like be a shitty customer.
Same.
Because I've worked customer service, like I've worked at a like fast food and stuff before, and I don't have it in me because I know how soul crushing fast food is.
I'm also not even that type of person, just in general.
And food service in general, like I just don't get uppity with people, like you know. But I would just be the worst customer. I would like spill shit. I would break plates. I would drop stuff on the floor. I would complain. I would force myself to vomit all over the floor so someone would have to clean it up.
I don't know, man. I would love to just
and then not tip.
Go. That's probably the main thing I would do, just because all the other stuff can be a little sketchy, gray line, walking a fine line. But like, I would just go there, order tons of stuff. Like I'm telling you, all of us. You, me, our friends, $100+, $200+ worth of food, and then not tip.
Just.
And I know that's shitty to do, but she made high school hell every period that we had.
Like, look. Oh man, and just make it bad too, and be like, you know how like normally, at a restaurant they take your order once, and then they just bring you your food. We would get our food, eat, and then be like, no, I think I want something else.
Yeah. And let's do it right close to closing time.
And like, you bring menus back. We need to get those again. Just give us a couple minutes. Bring menus back. Sir, we close in 10 minutes. I don't care. Get menus back.
And then if they say that and they're like, yeah, we right, they're not going to give us the menus. Just order the same thing you just ordered.
I don't care. Give me 2 of what I just ordered.
Yeah. Yeah. If I knew for sure we wouldn't get any sort of trouble for that would be worth it. But if there's one thing we can do, it's probably that. We can probably go there, be pieces of shit when it comes to tipping, and there you go.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I fucking can't. I don't know how we got in this topic. I hate her. I hope. I don't wish any harm, because I'm not that type of person, but I wish you to just get the fuck away from anybody in our vicinity. Anyone I know would agree, just get out. Just leave. Go live in the boondocks somewhere.
Exit. Just exit.
Exit the country. Instead of exit the estate, it's exit the country. Get the fuck out.
Go to Mexico. Get as far away from me as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Because anytime you're not moving, I'm getting closer.
True. Could also be getting farther, though.
I am currently 20 meters away and advancing rapidly.
My GPS coordinates are. Give her the exact coordinates. Oh, man. But yeah, that teacher was a piece of trash. Still is, I'm sure. I can't imagine how with this whole COVID, all the online schooling.
There's definitely a lot of teachers. Bad. There's a couple teachers where I'm like, if I see them after high school, it's over, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose violence. Not like physical violence, but
verbal,
like I'm
emotional.
Gonna just be a piece of shit, right? And it's a joke most of the time. I'm not being serious, but in this case, I am. I'm not joking. Yeah. I would just because she probably didn't even remember me. I was in a class for like 2 months, and then like I left.
I don't even remember you being there that long. That goes to show how weird time is. I just remember. I think it's because the peak of that was just her being a bitch. So
yes.
So it's just all bled together. If I'm the type of person where if I was to see this teacher, obviously, yeah, as teachers do, she'd probably, if she recognized me, be like, "Oh, hi, how you been?" And I just would straight up be like, "I really don't want to speak to you because, in my opinion, you're the worst thing about high school." I do
not wish to speak with you.
That's all I would say.
Please
What's
get
the
away
worst that's going to happen? Like, I would probably literally just be like, "I do not wish to speak with you. You're the worst thing about that school we went to."
I do not wish to speak with you. I'm carrying a gun.
I have a sniper out the window trained on you right now.
On my command, your head will be erased.
That's a joke. It's a joke.
It's a joke. I don't wish harm on anyone.
No, but I would probably say that, honestly.
I just say, look, get the fuck away from me.
Don't ever fucking speak to me again, you stupid bitch. And I'm not the type of person to hold grudges. No, I'm just kidding. I am. But anyway, that was the story about that teacher. And we'll see if when I'm editing, if I find anything we slipped up and maybe you should redact. But
she's going to email us now.
I hope so.
She's going to email us.
Okay. Letter. Fucking expose her address. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck her. Piece of human garbage. Like, if you're gonna become a teacher, and I'm saying this as my girlfriend is currently in the elementary education major, if you're going to become a teacher,
make sure you're like a good person.
Make sure that you have like good intent and that you're not a piece of shit, and that maybe you can, even at the age of like 40, comprehend what a teenager may be going through.
Or like, yeah, just
how about be empathetic, you fucking bitch?
Just like think. Maybe.
That too. That would help. Anyway, let's climb on out of this rabbit hole and talk about the Climb 2, baby. Totally just made that up on the spot. Didn't flow very well, but hey, the Climb 2, Chris. I got it.
What's different about this one?
It's just more of the same.
Climb 2, the climbing.
The climax. The Climb 2. My favorite part about it is I need to replay the first game to make sure, but it was very linear in the first game. Like, there was a couple ways you could kind of change things up, but it was very just like, follow this path, go up, climb, jump here, do this, and then you get to the top. There's like multiple paths you can take in this one, and they're just different. So like, there's a quick path that is usually in the level where you're like, oh, I can climb up much faster, but there's tiny handholds that you lose stamina on, and there's just more options for how you want to go. If you want to go the nice, slow, scenic route with all the handholds, or if you want to, like, go on the quick route, which is just, like, you have to jump every grip, so you're grabbing and jumping every single time. And overall, it's just so good on the Quest, dude. The Quest 2, playing the Climb 2 is just so good. My favorite part is the city level. It's a little weird, I'll be honest. It's not... It's honestly difficult, the city level, because it's very much, you don't know what you're doing, versus like on the rock climbing, you can very clearly tell where you should go next. In the city, that's not the case. But the city part was my favorite, just because you're like going from skyscraper to skyscraper, scaling the side of a building. You use like a
didn't a guy do
window
that
washer lift.
Somewhat recently, like a guy like scaled Trump Tower.
Really?
Like, didn't he do that? Didn't that happen like a couple years ago?
I don't remember, honestly. Maybe.
That's pretty epic.
That is pretty cool. I bet he was playing the Climb 3.
That's the Climb 3. You just climb in real life.
Yeah, it's augmented reality instead. But it's just a really good game. I mean, for the price, $30. I beat it in
$30.
I beat it in like an hour and 15 minutes, maybe.
Right. I have a rule that I rarely follow, but I have it like $1 an hour, right? If I'm paying $60 for a game, I want like 60 hours of enjoyment out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right? If I'm paying, or at least, close to that.
Yeah.
Like, if it was like 30 hours and they were really good 30 hours, then I would be okay with that. Mm-hmm. But like, if you're charging me $30 for a game and I could blitz through it in like less than 2 hours, get the fuck out of here.
That's the issue I have. So I don't have like $1 an hour rule, because $60 for 60 hours is arguably asking a bit for 60 memorable hours, in my opinion, anyway. Obviously, we have games like Red Dead 2, which do $60 for like 100 hours.
Well, the last few games I paid $60 for, I've gone well.
Yeah, those specific games. Yeah. I'm saying on a general basis, almost like 5% of the games that come out are going to be in that.
Yeah, and that's category. Why I don't buy games new.
Yeah, I look at it as just from a content perspective, as well as just a fun factor. So like something like Metro, at launch, $60. It's only an 8-hour, mostly linear game, but there's something there. There's a good story. There's a good narrative. Versus something like The Climb, $30. That's what it is. It's climbing. There's no narrative. There's not necessarily like a music thing like Beat Saber where it's constantly, community maps, mods, stuff like that. So I think personally with the Climb 2 needs to be worth, like for me to say this is worth $30, it needs like Workshop, kind of like Steam. It needs to have community created levels, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
Because at face value, it's probably worth about 15, 20. Because you get about, if you blitz through it, you can beat it in about an hour. So.
Oh, for sure. I community stuff adds so much to any game that it's in, really.
Yeah.
Like Mud Runner, Snow Runner is like that.
Mm-hmm.
The devs actually support modders a lot. Like they have it built into like consoles for like the console versions of the game. Obviously they have stricter guidelines because they have to fit with the PlayStation and Xbox stores.
Yeah.
But they do support modders a lot. And they inadvertently are getting rid of DLC opportunities for themselves by supporting modders, but they would rather have a community on their side.
As well as same thing. I was gonna say like no flack, like they don't chip customers. That community on their side as well as just good practice, So like now when SnowRunner 2, the mud version comes out, or their next runner game comes out, like you'd rather have a strong community willing to spend the 50, 40, 50 bucks than people who are like, oh, fuck these guys.
Well, it's like you don't get a lot of games that are like, oh, I've been here since, where they're on their third game. They had Spin Tires, they had Mud Runner, and now they have Snow Runner. And you don't see a lot of games like that where they're like, oh, there's 3 of them, and there's players that are like, oh, we've been here since the first one, and we fully support this.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the thing. It's a community at the end of the day. And a community is going to stay invested in the game. That's like Blade and Sorcery. A lot of, Blade and Sorcery is a little bit of a weird one because, VR and all that, but Blade and Sorcery is another game where they take community feedback, and that's why there's such a, I don't want to say such a large, but such a passionate fan base, because they're active on Discord, they're active on Reddit, you can make suggestions, they follow through with it,
Well, yeah.
It's all about getting the community of people who say, hey, this is a developer, but at the end of the day, they're not some big, bold-faced corporate mind. They want to work with the end user. So
Exactly. Like, you can talk directly on Discord, at least for SnowRunner. You can talk directly to the dev team.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And I think more games should do that.
I get why games like Red Dead 2, the Rockstar devs wouldn't do that, because you know how many fucking people would be blowing that up. Well, they wouldn't be able to reply to many people. But like, especially for an indie game like this, it's very, you notice that where everyone's always saying like, oh, the big games like Call of Duty, Red Dead, Battlefield, GTA, it's all like corporate run. But then indie games are very personal. Well, that's because those indie devs ultimately need community more than anything. Rockstar can release another game and not talk to any of the end users. They're good. They just got to make sure the game is good, and they're good. No one's going to care. But with an indie game, when you start getting devs who don't listen or devs who do things and you're like, you're not taking community feedback, well, fortunately, that's how most indie devs turn out unemployed.
That's the thing. That's a huge, huge thing with games is community support.
Yeah. Especially on the PC side.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, a lot of games now, like modern AAA games, a lot of them are just money grabs. Have you bought like a AAA game recently that doesn't have any microtransactions in it?
No. I've bought AAA games that were really good that had microtransactions in it, Valhalla, but none that just haven't had any. Oof.
That was a big noise.
That was a crunchy one. But I haven't bought any that didn't have it. Not that I can remember anyway.
Like, that's the thing. And it's kind of off topic, but it's one of those things that I also can't fathom. And that's why another reason why I don't buy many $60 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's because, right, the game's $60 and then they're trying to bleed more money out of you. Because $60 is already kind of steep.
Yeah, well,
like it's a
games
lot
are
of
becoming
money.
70, so.
It's a lot of money to commit to something. So
That's the thing, is $60 is a lot to commit to something, especially when it's a very, I don't want to say it's an unfiltered market, but it goes the same route as movies, where like you don't know what you're getting into, so
yeah.
you can pay $60 for this game, and there's a good chance that it can be ass, and then there's a good chance that it can be fucking Red Dead,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's the thing with $60 games, and now a lot of games becoming $70 is like, oof.
I would almost rather pay more for a game
If I knew, yeah.
than pay the same amount for games and then end up with a game that's full of like bullshit. Like, I don't want to go into a game being like, I just spent $60 on this, and if I want anything anytime soon, if I want any of the good stuff in the game anytime soon, I have to pay more money.
I think personally more new games, or like every game needs a demo. Like, why can't
Yeah, demos aren't
new
a thing
game
anymore.
comes out, right? Why can't I download a 1 hour demo where it's just the prologue part of the game? And that's the other thing with demos. Is a lot of times demos are very blatantly showing like the best portion of a game.
Yeah.
It takes you to like the high action part. Get me a demo that is just the first hour of the game, and let me play through it. And if I decide, hey, you know what, I actually like where this story is going, or I like what's happening here, I'll buy into it.
Well, right. Here's an idea. Because companies like money.
Correct.
So, what they could do is say like, well, for $1.99, you can play the first hour of the game or whatever. And then if you decide you like it, it will give you the rest of the game. Just pay the difference.
Yeah. So if it's $1.99, you pay $57.99 or
Yeah,
$57.01 or whatever.
You pay the other $58.
$58. Yeah.
And if you didn't like it, fine. You're out $2.
Yeah. Arguably, that'd be a lot better. I would do that.
I would actually, yeah.
Give me for $2. Give me an hour of the game, hour and a half.
So,
perhaps I would have not bought Cyberpunk.
a
lot of people wouldn't have.
Yeah, they've been updating that game somewhat consistently though.
Somewhat consistently, but their newest major patch got delayed because of the ransomware. So.
Well, yeah, they're kind of still in a bad way.
Yeah, they're still doing real bad. So, unfortunately,
is that game fixed yet? Can people play that?
Not that I'm aware of. No,
It's
not even on the PlayStation Store yet.
I haven't launched the game since I finished it originally. I was
back in December. Yeah.
As I was planning to do another playthrough, when the game got fixed, but I don't know what the status is with it now. I'm like hoping that it's like in a really good playable state by like this December.
Mm-hmm. Like a year later.
Yeah, and see what it looks like a year on. Because you're gonna see that, right? You know how big of a genre YouTube retrospective videos are on YouTube, like what was this, or looking at this a year later, or some shit like that.
Yeah,
there's
gonna be a million year later.
There's gonna be a million fucking videos that are like, Cyberpunk 2077 1 year later.
Mm-hmm.
Or some Cyberpunk 2077 years later.
Yeah. That game. I
have such mixed feelings about it.
I'm so mixed, dude.
I can't like even adequately put out a good opinion because I can't figure out what I feel about the game.
Mm-hmm. I just look at it. I started the game up. I was overwhelmed in that initial stage where they're just throwing everything at you. There's fucking jobs flying at you at the start of the game. I did like 4 side jobs, beat the game, and then just went, all right, I'm done.
That was that, I guess.
Like, I've probably, on a scale of like Red Dead with 100% completion, I probably beat 20% of this. And I was just like, okay.
Well, because the story is like actual like 19 hours. or like
15, I'm pretty sure.
15 hours, whatever. Like it's a CD Projekt Red game, man. That's not what I'm expecting. I'm not expecting to get into a 19-hour or 15-hour story.
No, I was anticipating the Witcher like 3 style of story where it's long. There's a lot of different environments you're exploring throughout, and you're getting all these new characters, and like arguably there's not many characters in that game either. There's like 8 pivotal characters.
The
fucking crazy.
Cyberpunk was very overwhelming as well, like you were saying.
Yeah.
They just throw so much shit at you at once.
Mm-hmm.
Witcher was really well paced like that.
Perfectly. I would say perfectly paced.
It's like, well, we're not going to throw all this shit at you all at once. We're going to pace it out. Yeah. Like, sure, you get side quests here and there, but it's not like, oh, I've been playing the game for an hour and now I have 16 side quests that I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Red Dead 2 did it pretty well. It can get overwhelming sometimes. Because of the amount of shit that's in that world.
Well, you're like going from point A to point B, and someone's like, "Hey, I need help," shit like that.
Exactly, and that happens in Red Dead 1 too. Yeah. Even not to that degree, but it happens. So
the biggest thing I think I'll miss, completely off topic again, playing Red Dead 1 is like antagonize and greet.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah. Another thing I suddenly remembered was how horses worked in Red Dead 1.
I knew you were going to say it, where you just call them from
anywhere. You can just call them from anywhere, and if your horse dies, you can just call them.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a mission you do fairly early on, where it introduces the mechanic of like horse breaking, where like you to get a wild horse.
Oh yeah.
And you get a somewhat decent horse. And I immediately, like, probably less than an hour after I got it, I jumped off a cliff with the horse. And I thought I died, too. Because the horse fell and my entire screen went red. And I was like, oh,
you almost died, yeah.
I'm dead now. Because John was just on the ground. I'm like, oh, I'm dead now. But the horse was just sitting there, just dead. Oh, another cool thing that I remembered was the weapon system. It's like GTA. Where you don't have to pick and choose what weapons you have. Mm-hmm. You just have them.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Which I think in Red Dead 2 should have been a setting. I prefer the Red Dead 2 way personally. But it should have been a setting, I feel like.
Liked the Red Dead 2 way, but sometimes it was weird where like Arthur would just decide that, yeah, I'm going to put this weapon back on my horse. Well, and now you would get to the mission, the part where you actually need the weapon, and you don't have it anymore.
You know what I noticed on my second playthrough of Red Dead 2? What happens a lot is you start a mission, and it picks your favorite weapons for you. So the weapons you use most, it will just randomly pick. Like, anytime I start a mission, Arthur always has a Lancaster repeater and a shotgun.
I feel like that happened less in my second playthrough. They must have done an update that fixed a lot of that. Mm-hmm. But I remember that being a thing in my first playthrough where, like, okay, I select my equipment that I want, which is pretty much the same thing. Like, I have the pump action shotgun.
And a repeater.
And some kind of repeater, whatever one I think I used the Evans repeater a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's really good ones you get late game.
Yeah.
Which I think late game Evans repeater is a fairly late game weapon you get.
Mm-hmm.
But it would happen where, like, okay, I would select that, and then I would have 2 volcanic pistols. Mm-hmm. And then we would be on our way to the mission, and then Arthur puts away the long guns, and it's like, okay, now I have to do a bank robbery with 2 volcanic pistols.
Yeah. Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Because Arthur, and I can't get to my horse, because the horses have to stay in a specific area for the mission.
They also run away once there's gunshots.
Oh, yeah, that's too, yeah. They'll run away at gunshots.
In my playthrough, that was an issue, but this second playthrough, it's been just that it pits the weapons for me. Where he'll start every mission, like, you'll get to the mission objective, the cutscene will play, and then say the cutscene ends just as he's getting off his horse, he'll just spawn in with a shotgun and a Lancaster, even though I only had my revolvers at the time. So, So it seems like they fixed it somewhat, but again, I wish it would just be consistent. But I do like that, personally, more than the GTA, let me stuff an RPG in my taint.
Yeah, just have, like, every weapon.
Yeah. I just liked the realism and immersion in Red Dead 2. But I think Red Dead 1 would be a nice, fresh pace, because it's a different game, ultimately. It's a much different game. Versus like GTA 4 to GTA 5. It's GTA, you know?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of changes from Red Dead 1 to 2. Just speaking of mechanics, you know? So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to bring up the quest thing that I had on here. But there's really not much to it. My point in bringing it up was that Quest 2 is apparently going to get 120 Hz support. I have no idea how. I don't understand how that would be physically possible. Not even just from like, oh, it can't refresh at 120 Hz, but like the display isn't even capable.
They're gonna update. They're gonna send out an update, and in that update, Zuck himself is gonna show up to your house, take apart your Quest, and put in new displays.
Yeah, I just don't understand how it's possible. It's got to be some sort of software.
It's gonna be weird. Like you're gonna like wake up in the dead of night in like a cold sweat, and he's gonna be crawling around on your ceiling.
Probably
with your Quest in his hand, and he's taking it apart, stuffing new parts into it.
Basically.
And you go, hang on, this is a lot smoother now. What'd Zuck do?
Yeah, right. But anyway, I think I'm done. I have one other topic I'm going to talk about next episode, specifically that I thought I could bring up and we'd have a good discussion. I think we will.
All right, because I'm on like the verge of death right now.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm done with this episode.
All right, we're done with this one. Okay, bye now.
No, I gotta rehash the stuff.
Okay.
This has been the 32nd installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your co-host, Jordan. The host, who is currently dying slowly, is Chris. He's over there, just sitting there, face palming. You can contact us, synapsemisfire@pm.me, or via Instagram. What is our Instagram? Is it just Synapse Misfire? Because I think you yelled at me because I wanted to put Synapse Misfire official, and you yelled at me. So now we're just Synapse Misfire, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So contact us at Instagram, Synapse Misfire. We still haven't posted much, but we'll get there. And of course, you can always find us on numerous platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify. I actually forgot to mention that in the intro. Funny enough, I didn't mention Spotify. Whatever I didn't mention, Pocket Cast. There you go. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for the support there.
I yawned.
The RSS feed as well, if you want to import it into your favorite podcasting app. We're here every Wednesday.
Unless we die.
Yes. Unless Chris succumbs to his disease. Or myself, for that matter. And we try to post IRL content every other Friday, but usually it's bad. So
sometimes things just don't work out the way you want them to.
Well, listen, Chris, we're on the same page where I'd rather not upload a video than upload one just for the hell of it. A shitty one,
yes.
So, as much as we didn't upload, and maybe one of you was looking forward to it, I doubt it, but it wouldn't have been good. So, simple as that. We only upload what we can take some pride in.
Yes.
All right, bye.
Okay, now we're done.
I don't even want to hear the get out of my house thing. Just fuck off, dude.
All right.
No, say it, please.
Well, you want it or not? You want to get out of my house or not? Get out of my house.
I'm going to take your spark plugs.
Okay.